All right, everybody, I got it back together. My short recommendation on this project is don't do it. Okay, good morning to you all. It's time for me to get into this long overdue CT125 project, putting my front fender back on after the upgrade to the 3.0 by 17 tire that does not clear the fender. These little cutouts right here, the little kidney-shaped cutouts, dip right into the tread. So you have to raise your fender up a little bit. So I have a little fender lift kit that I ordered off of, can't remember where. I'll try to throw a link here in the video. It was a cheapie off of eBay or Amazon or something like that. But all they are these stamped steel plates, you know, probably laser cut, whatever they are. They're powder coated, it looks like, maybe painted, can't really tell. I can already tell you that the fasteners, I don't know if that comes out well on camera, the fasteners are not well anodized, and they're already rusting just being in the bag in my garage, so they're going to rust over time, but I'll deal with that later. They didn't come with any instructions, so I'm going to pull the wheel off of this thing, see if I can figure out how they go back on there, and lift that fender up. So here we go. I'm trying to do this early in the morning because it is some kind of crazy humid and hot out here. All right, 14 and a 19, lefty loosey. It's on there with 44 pounds of force. Should be it. Yeah, gotta trap it. There we go. Ah, I forgot something. I need to counterweight the back of the bike, so I'm gonna have to go get something heavy to put in my rear box there to hold the back of the bike down when I pull this front wheel off. So I'll be right back with you. When in need, improvise. I got a 25-pound project box here full of motorcycle accessories and stuff, and a full spool of Ubiquity Tough Cable Pro. Each one of those is about 25 pounds, so that'll definitely keep the back of the bike planted while I pull this axle out and let the front wheel dangle-angle. Pardon? Like my work jeans? Good stuff. Okay, here we go. Oh, you have to pull the front wheel to get the fender in and out of there because there's just no way to arrange it, finagle it without coming in from the bottom. So slide this out. When you have your front wheel off, do not mess with your brake or you will push your pads out of position and your calipers and all that. You have to get a big screwdriver in there and twist them, and I might still have to do that when I put the wheel back on. It's usually not a bad idea. Another way you can do that is pull the brake caliper, but it's so much easier to just come straight in and out of it. It's less stuff to undo and less bolts, less torque, less nonsense. Okay, so let's see if we can figure this out. I don't have a lot of time to spend on this today because I need to get to the warehouse, but I wanted to ride this there and swap for the Knobby. I haven't ridden the Knobby in a couple weeks. All right, so I don't know which side is which. The pictures did not really talk about anything. I'm kind of guessing. Sorry, I'm trying to keep you guys on camera and do this at the same time. It's not an easy task. I'm using a chest rig, so it doesn't really afford me a lot of motion here. So I'm thinking it's that. It could be this. Let's do that, shall we? Yeah, and there's some spacer things here to stand off, I'm assuming, from this this inner relief right here. So it's going to be a little bit of trial and error, but I'll see if I can get it done and try to keep you on camera at the same time. So I'm guessing the rounded side, that is what's going to be on the top, on the inside, of course, like this. And then this bottom one, it has adjustability with these slots that are cut in here. So that's the logic I'm going to go with. We'll see if it pays off. But I need to put some thread lock on here, and I couldn't find my big tube of gel that I always use. I have a little deal with this Permatex medium blue thread locker, but this one's just about dry, so I don't know if I can squeeze enough life out of this one to do all these bolts or not. Otherwise, it's going to be the Loctite liquid, which I don't care for because it kind of goes everywhere. It doesn't stay where you want it. Anyway, I'm going to try to put this together. I don't know if I'll keep you on camera or not. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm still trying to test fit this thing in here. One little word of advice: if you're trying to get the front fender in and out of this bike, it's a pain in the butt. There's very little clearance in here because of the fork gaiters, these fork tube covers. Getting it up and down and in and out of here is just a ginormous pain in the butt because of these support rails or stiffening rails that mount it onto the frame. So what I found, let me see if I can keep you on camera. If you just take the, grab a hold of it from the front and back and just squeeze it, and you can slightly deform it to get it in and out of there. And you'll notice I've already taken little bits of paint off right here all the way around this thing because it's scuffing up against the fork stanchions here, the lower portions where it bolts in. So anyway, that's just a little hint. Anybody that wants to get this in and out of there and avoid losing paint, just grab a hold of it from the front and back and squeeze it and slightly deform the upper part of the fender, and it gives you clearance to slide this thing up and down without scraping it up too much. So now the next bit is I'm trying to figure out how this is going to fit in there because it is some kind of tight, let me tell you. And I don't think I can be inboard of it like I was anticipating just a minute ago, because that's going to be even closer to the tire and the wheel. I don't know. Okay, so on second or third or 10th thought, it looks like these mounts have to go in here like this. So they're going to be sitting like this on here, and I guess the slack adjust portion is there. I mean, I guess it could potentially be this way, but what it boils down to is this is going to have to be down on the lower side with the spacers down here, because this is your longer bolt that needs to mount in. And I had just enough blue goo out of my little toothpaste tube here to get all of my bolts with Loctite. So I'm thinking that's going to be it. This is a little more compact for clearance on the bellowed part of the upper fork stanchion here, but or not stanchion, the fork lower. I don't know. This is a weird setup, man. I'm going to try it both ways and see how it works. Okay, so the best I can work out, it looks like this is going to be the position. It's going to be a pretty tight fit because these cutouts right here were designed with this amount of relief in mind, and now we're adding this additional thickness in here. So I think what's going to happen is it's going to be compressing these rails a little bit inward, and it's going to make getting these guys flattened out a little harder. So it would almost be like these need to be tilted back a bit. I can't see any forward, backward, up, down orientation marks on these brackets, and they didn't come with any instructions. So the best I can work out, this is how it's going to be with the little button head Allen bolts on the inside closer to the tire, because those are going to be riding fairly close to this inner surface now, and the nuts on the outside. Now that means the nuts are going to be kind of digging into your fork bellows here, your fork gaiter, but I don't know. We'll see how it plays. One thing that I'm a little concerned about is this is raising the fender up quite a bit. So luckily I've got, a little bit of height slack that I can work with here. I'm going to slam it all the way down to the lowest position because I don't really need much room. I just needed a little bit to clear this, little crescent right here at the edge of the tire. What I'm concerned about is under full fork compression. Remember, this fender is attached to the lower fork, not the upper fork. So that means this whole assembly is going to go up, and I'm concerned that it might ding this right up in here. Something might get whacked. So I don't know. I will definitely remove this horn bracket and flip it over the other way, do something else where I've got more clearance but it could still butt out against the upper part of the triple tree. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, everybody. I got it back together. My short recommendation on this project is don't do it. Stick with a 2.75 on the front because this kit isn't good. I don't care for these brackets at all. They don't have pre-bends in them. They're not really allowing the proper clearances. So when you're putting these bolts in here, this additional thickness right here is causing the fender frame to bow inward. So that means these lower mounting planes are not perpendicular, and you're going to add abnormal stress as you're trying to thread in these new little cap head bolts that came with the kit. So you run a risk of stripping out your lower fork tube mount right here, because this is just aluminum. I was very careful about getting it in and cinching it up, you know, in increments to kind of stretch this, trying to do this one-handed, sorry, trying to stretch the frame outward and get it on there. So I haven't torqued my axle down yet, nut's still off of there, but I've got just enough clearance. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I mean, the tire is clearing, the fender supports, it's clearing up here, everything's good. But again, this is kind of a bodge. It's not a good solution in my opinion. I'm gonna roll with it for a little while. I've already scraped up my fender and I've done the damage I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna have to live with it for a little while. But I think probably what I'll end up doing is pull this 3.0. I don't know if you guys can read that with the sun shining on us. This is a 3.0 by 17. I'll probably drop back down to a 2.75 17 for the front. That way the fender could go back where it was and just have a little bit more clearance, period. Because, I mean, this is so tight that I can't even slip my pinky in between the fender support and the edge of the tire. So it's okay. I mean, it's not going to be a real interference problem while I'm rolling, riding, and all that. It's just, it's a bodge. At best, it's a bodge. And these bolts on the inner edge of these brackets are riding right up against this rubber bellows here. So it's probably going to wear those out and tear them eventually. So anyway, yeah, it's kind of a bad idea. Because remember, this is going to be moving up and down. Because this is the fork lower. So under compression, this is moving up and down, and the fork bellows is going to be under motion all the time for bumps. So this is probably going to tear and fray eventually. So I'll bolt it all up, give it a ride. I got to go to work, see how things go. I'll catch up with you in a bit. Okay, one final note, I almost forgot. Relocating the horn was really simple. This bracket right here was mounted onto the frame with this 10mm bolt right there where that one is now. And then the horn was in turn mounted through to this part. So all I did was just pull that bolt off, pull this bracket out there, and use the longer bolt that's for the horn, and just went straight through into the original factory mounting position. So the only thing that's changed is the ABS wire was on this little curly bracket right here. I don't think that's really necessary, but what I might do just to keep it secure, it's on a you can see it's on a quick disconnect harness right there. So what I might do is just zip tie that to another part of the wiring harness up there, somewhere behind the headlight. So it's not going to be, you know, damaged or anything. It's always in this position doing this, you know, rotating around. So the connector was never secured anyway. It was only the wire here that was secured with that bracket. So anyway, just pull that bracket out, unthread the little curly Q here for the wire, and then just replace the bolt. I just gave that a little twist outward and kind of inward a little bit to get away from the fork brackets here. That's it.